Fallout is one of the best shows to come out recently, and season 2 just premiered. Fallout is anything but okie dokie. It's thought-provoking, it's bloody, and it speaks volumes about the horrors of humanity. At the start of the season 2 premiere, we're introduced to a new character played by Justin Theroux. In a flashback 200 years prior to the nuclear holocaust, his character explains how every dollar spent funds corrupt politicians. This follows the opening shot of citizens beating and destroying a robot from Robco. One of my favorite things about this cautionary tale is the clash between this vintage aesthetic and the tech. In the opening of season 2, Justin Theroux's character speaks to some blue-collar workers inside a bar. Inside, they're watching news coverage of these politicians and spewing their hatred. And Justin Theroux's mysterious new character argues that their construction work has been made simpler because of these advancements in technology. In fact, they don't even realize that they're playing a part in their own demise. They are active contributors. He's able to lure some of the most vocal men outside by enticing them with violence. Initially on him, but it takes a turn. While he offers $31 million to insert this tech into the back of their neck, this intrigue is not an initial sell. But Justin Theroux's character ultimately makes that decision for him and inserts it. After he's able to attach it, he hands one of them a bat and instructs him to kill his friends. And this man obliges and is controlled by Justin Theroux's remote and his instruction. In fact, the advanced nail guns that they're using in their construction jobs is what paid for this new harmful tech without realizing it. And moments later, the worker's head shockingly explodes because research and progress marches on, wherein the message is made clear again: we are the cause of our own inevitable destruction. Back in present time, we meet the ghoul who's been tied up by a drifter gang, with Lucy and the dog perched inside the mouth of a dinosaur. I love this shot and this concept because it's symbolic of humanity's ability to survive extinction, unlike the dinosaurs. It's a declaration that even when we're inside the jaws of life, we survive. Lucy and the ghoul have a really entertaining dynamic. Their personalities are so opposite. In the beginning of season 2, Lucy still maintains her childlike optimism as she aims to injure, not murder, because she still tries to reason with the gang before inciting violence. So much that the ghoul even calls her an amateur. Yet this introductory scene to them as a pair showcases how he was momentarily beholden to her. He is at her mercy, and it reiterates the question of who is really in power. The ghoul goes on to say that Robert House is responsible for all the destruction. Robert House owns half of Vegas. He's the wealthiest man in America. He's the one that owns Robco and is also responsible for building the missiles that eventually lead to the nuclear holocaust. Where season 2 takes us on a journey to Las Vegas, aka New Vegas, where both the ghoul and Lucy are looking for their families. But this really feels like it's Walton Goggins' show. He is one of the most talented actors of our generation. He was truly a standout in Sons of Anarchy and recently had a renaissance in White Lotus. But he's so captivating in the show as we see him play these dual roles of Cooper Howard and the ghoul. Also, fun fact, in some of those earlier shots, I totally recognize the filming location, which is Vasquez Rocks. As we cut back and forth between the flashbacks to 200 years ago, we see Cooper Howard, the actor, is the walking billboard for Vault-Tec, while he's simultaneously spying on his wife's involvement. There's a standout scene with his daughter in tow, where the neighborhood erupts into pure chaos. Neighbors flee in terror during an alarm test, a signal of what's to come. And the duality of how this scene plays out is brilliant. Cooper is one of the only outsiders, if not the, that knows the truth of these brutal decisions that are being made for the masses behind closed doors, as if humans are mere playthings, while also being the face of this false security for Vault-Tec. And during the scene, he's protecting and holding his daughter, shielding her, as she faces away from the billboard with his face plastered on it. Later in the episode, we learn when Norm is still locked in the vault what Reclamation Day is. It's when there's no one left on the surface to disagree, which is a troubling ideology. Back in the day, we learned that Moldaver tried to get Cooper to prevent the sale of Cold Fusion. Moldaver needs Cooper to go to Vegas with his plotting wife to eliminate Robert for good. As this scene plays out, Cooper's daughter is playing whack-a-mole in the background. And the irony here is palpable, since Cooper here is meant to be the mole. And the specific outfit that these moles are wearing, we see later in the episode in the abandoned vault, where they continue to track Lucy's father. Meanwhile, Lucy's brother Norm refuses to succumb to death, where he decides to thaw the remaining members of management inside the vault that he's trapped in. Lucy and the ghoul discover that all of the rotten corpses inside the vault are really Americans that have been turned into communists, all sacrificed at the hands of this tech. She discovers that her dad has removed the drive from the computer down there, and as they follow a trail of crumb, aka sugar bombs, they discover a man who's been trapped to a chair, and that man has been controlled by the same tech that we saw in the opening scene. He has that piece of metal strapped to the back of his neck and recites a message to her encouraging her to go home, and this is before his head ultimately explodes. And this box of sugar bombs is also a metaphor, conceptualizing the justification of war. sweetening the idea that nuclear war is a means of safety. Hank manipulates his role as her father as a means of swaying Lucy from pursuing him, now that he's been freed from Moldaver's prison. At the end of the episode, Hank makes it to a Vault-Tec cement fortress, where he really begins to relax into his villainous role. He goes into the office like normal, checking all of his unread messages, making a cup of coffee, eager to get back to work. He changes into a gray suit, which matches the gray walls, as he also inhibits the morally gray space of his character. Hank then goes on to send a message offering to pick up where they left off, and even wishes to discuss his future promotion, because this man is still trapped in the archaic ritual of employer versus employee, emphasizing and proving once again how he is just a pawn to a much larger and darker agenda. Fallout Season 2 picks up immediately after where we left off on Season 1. It immediately grabs hold of us and shows no signs of stopping. Fallout is one of those shows that is as thrilling as it is terrifying. Fallout is one of those rare put your phone down type of shows, set against the backdrop of a failed utopia, because the end is not near, it's here.